Misconceptions about being self-employed. My name's John, I'm 29, I own a fitness brand called Mergs. I work for myself, I am the only person at Mergs, and I have got nothing to sell you. The only reason I share the brand is because it's interesting. It's alright talking about a mystery brand and you do this in the background. No, go take a look, that's what we do. And it's only me, and I find that quite relatable and interesting. Too many brands, I'm making 10k a month doing mysterious things. Yeah, okay, whatever. Misconceptions about being self-employed. You won't make millions straight away. Brackets, you might never make millions. And that's okay. You don't have to be doing 100 million a year, Alex Hormozy style, to be doing well. Yeah, it's cool. You know, Alex Hormozy making $1 million a month in take-home pay. Wow. That's a lot of money. And he is in a tiny percentage of people that can do that. It's not realistic. It might never happen. All your business has to do is pay you a wage. That's it, right? You've got the freedom and flexibility. I'm here now, it's Friday afternoon, it's 2:30. You know, there's people that are in the office for another 2 or 3 hours, earning the same amount of money. I say this all the time, part of my pay is my time. That's massive. So don't be disheartened that you're not making 10 grand a month. If it pays your wage, that's amazing. That's huge. Compared to the average life, that is incredible. So just bear that in mind. Just rein in your expectations a little bit, and yeah, just that's that. Next one. You'll work anytime, but you don't have to work all the time. This is another misconception, and in this today's hustle culture, you shouldn't be watching Netflix, you shouldn't be out with your friends, you shouldn't be doing anything you've paid for, you should only be eating ramen noodles, you should drive a piece of crap car. Yeah, these things are very extreme. But at the same time, sometimes you will be out doing a thing and you'll get an email that, I can't not reply to this now, this is important. You know, sometimes, this happened this year, on Christmas Day. I'm sat down, I'm eating Christmas dinner, and I get a message pop up on the live chat saying, "Hi, I've bought these knee sleeves, they're the wrong size, how do I send them back?" And when you take a step back, they don't realise my situation. They think they're talking to a company that's going to get back to them whenever. In reality, it is me, and I'm sat down on Christmas Day thinking, this is important to you. You're excited, you're allowed to be. Our products are cool. I know that. But I'll get back to you in a bit because I'm just on with some things. But people don't know that, it's fine. But you don't have to work every hour of every day. You can set up a business in a way where you don't have to look at either extreme. You don't have to never watch Netflix again, and it doesn't all have to be this weird passive income. People have got a fascination with that, like earning money by doing nothing. Yeah, that's like losing weight by doing nothing. Yeah, if you figured it out, great, but, you know, selling you a course for £1,000, probably not, you know. It's not if things go wrong, it's when things go wrong. Things will absolutely go wrong. I've been doing this now for 7 years. Is it 7 years? 2017. That's 7 years. That's a long time. I've had things that I thought I'd got right, and I'm like, right, we've been doing this for enough time now, that'll be fine. No, new product came in, great example, a few weeks ago, these. So they're like a lifting strap, you put your hand through this loop, and you'll see the problem straight away. Yeah, so you're meant to put your hand through this loop, I can't quite get my hand in, and then you get your barbell, and you'll wrap this round, and it just gives you like a really strong grip, because sometimes people's back is stronger than their forearms, so they need some help in the forearm department. Fine. But they'd all been sewn too high. This is one that I modified just for demonstration purposes. They should have been sewn there to the top of the rubber. So you can put your hand through quite comfortably and you can wrap all this up. It doesn't really matter how big the gap is there because of how they're designed. These came, 300 pairs. Just useless. So you'll find stuff like that. You get used to, it's not if it goes wrong. Things will go wrong. You think you've got to a point and you're like, right, we've got this figured down. You will find suppliers and manufacturers where you do have a system cracked and you're like, right, I'm pretty happy that they know what they're doing. But that takes a lot of work, more than you'd think. Right, next one. You'll never get it perfect. You won't. You'll have your idea of what this business is going to be. I do this. I've got OCD. And I like systems and processes. Oh, I love it. I like to have things on autopilot. I like things to just work, right? I like to spend the time once setting something up for it just to work. A good example, email marketing. We have these things called flows. Flows are basically automated emails. So if you sign up to my email list, you get an email. You know, that's not me going on and sending it. No, you get an automatic email, and then after 3 days or 5 days, you get another one, and there's little sequences that you can set up. Oh, I love things like that. They're great. And you'll get to a point where you think things are going to be set up right, but you can always improve. Or your idea of what works will evolve over time. I think that's more to the point. You'll do something in a certain way, like when you'll set up your first website, and you'll be like, right, this does the job. This is great, and you will be proud of it. And I was on my first go, and it was good. In my opinion, at my level of knowledge, 7 years ago. Our website now, I know loads of areas we could improve. You know, if you want to have a look, mergs.co.uk or mergs.com, take your peek. Our website really could be improved in a lot of areas. There's loads of things to do. But that's the nature of owning a small business. I don't have the time to be going in and doing that and to do this, and there's just so much stuff. You'll never get it perfect, but a saying I heard a while ago, done is better than perfect, because perfect is never done. And when you do get it to what you think's perfect in 2 years' time, or 6 months, or 6 days, you'll go, yeah, I guess it's okay. But I could just, you can do that with everything. You can always improve everything, which is why this never stops. You are never short of work to do. Never, ever, ever, ever. There's always something to do. And even if it's not the fun, exciting things like launching new products and, I don't know, designing things or whatever your idea of fun is, even if it's not that, there's always work to be done. There's always something. And if that's not customer support, because, you know, you'll get to a point in your business where your size guides are pretty accurate, your products are pretty good, and your current business is good. But then how can we sell more? Can we be on Amazon? Can we be improving our Amazon listings? Can we be on Walmart? Should we sell it on TikTok Shop? How can we get more people in? Should we have more affiliates? Should we do this? Should we do that? It's virtually endless, which is why you can grow like Gymshark to a team of 500 and still be growing. So don't feel like you're not getting anywhere because you're not ticking everything off your list. All I do, my best trick, is just to create different lists. What's stuff that's a non-priority? You know, like rearranging the order of products within a collection. That sounds quite insignificant, but it might be something where I'm like, you scroll through our product page and it's a bit mishmash. Yeah, it could be organised better into a better way. That goes on the list of not important. Meanwhile, we're partnering up with a major retailer within the UK at the minute, and I need to just finalise sending them some inventory and getting that sorted out. That's a job that needs to be done now, you know, like a today job. Whereas the other stuff, the little tweaks and changes, they can go on the list of, they can be done later. So, yeah, just bear that in mind, that it'll never be right. You just got to keep going. Another thing, you've got to be a little bit mad to do this. You've got to be a bit obsessed. You've got to be a bit crazy. Because it's hard. Full stop. It's just hard, you know? And it doesn't feel too bad now when you're selling enough stuff and you're kind of an established brand, shall we say. People recognise the name. You go to a CrossFit event, you will see Mergs gear. That's really weird to me still. But when you're starting out, I remember this. Our first month we launched, we made our sale on the 22nd of September, 2017, to a lady called Victoria. I always remember Victoria. And back then, there'd be a box or two of knee sleeves in my front room. And friends would come over and they'd be like, oh, what are these? I'd be like, knee supports. And they'd be like, why have you got so many? Well, I'm doing this thing, I'm selling them online, I'm starting a business. And to most people, it seems weird, or it's like an overly enthusiastic hobby, because they don't get it. They're not like me and you. They're not quite. Some people are just not bothered. We're all bothered about different things, aren't we, on Earth in this life? And some people don't get it like we get it. but embrace your smidge, a tiny bit of crazy, and lean into it. Double down on it. If you think this is going to work, just commit to it. Just keep going, and you'll get there. I promise. It's still unbelievable for me to think I work for myself. I started off with an idea. I started off with £2,000 that I'd saved up over the space of a few months working in engineering, making tooling, out of all things. And saved up a bit of money. Next thing you know, I've spent £1,000 with a factory in China, and I'm buying things. And there's people around me being like, wow, that seems risky. You've got to take risks. There's a little part of life that you've got to take risks, you know? You don't get anywhere by not taking little risks. So, yeah, be a little mad and just sort of lean into it. And then the very last thing, I don't know if this is a misconception, this was in my sort of but maybe list. Working for yourself is lonely. I'm an incredibly social person. I love talking to people. I can talk to people all day. I just find it fun. I like helping people, I like teaching people, I like engaging with people. But when you work for yourself, and I'm in here, it can be the nicest room you've ever seen. And after a while, it gets a bit lonely. So I find one of the biggest things that I've done recently is go to a co-working space. A place not too far away, 15 minutes. You go in, I think it's £15 plus VAT, so 18 quid. And you go in and you can just rent a desk, you rent an office. And it's lovely. And now and again there's people there, but there's like a cafe and a canteen and people. Sometimes I'll even go into town and just work in a coffee shop. It's just nice to see movement. It really is. Once again, another extremism from people like Alex Samozi. I reference him because I feel like he's very good at what he does, but he's also a bit crackers and quite influential. He says that he pulls his blinds down and his curtains and he turns his phone off and he shuts his door and then he just puts his headphones in and he has some nicotine and some caffeine and he's just in the zone. That's craziness. It is. Like, you've got to be a special type of crazy to be able to do that day in, day out and still love it. It's hard. I'm a big believer in deep work and setting time aside to do that. That's great. But trying to do that for 10 hours a day, 6 days a week, you'll end up burnt out so quick. And that leads on to another point. Burnout is a real thing. It really is. It's awful. Because you're doing this and you're like, this is amazing, this is so fun, this is so exciting, but it just is never ending. You've got to love the journey, but also if you put too much in too quick, you'll just end up smoked. You'll end up not wanting to go into your office, you'll end up not wanting to touch your computer, you'll end up not wanting to do this. You don't even know how many times I've wanted to quit Mergs. Completely serious. Maybe 5 times. There's been a few times where I've genuinely inquired to other businesses on maybe them acquiring Mergs and selling the business. You know, this is straight up because I'd had enough. It has drove me so crazy. I've been like, why do I do this? I can't do it. But then you have a day off. You have 2 days off. You take a week off. I mean, I've been struggling with depression now for about 2 years. I've virtually had the last 6 months off. Seriously. There's been months where I've worked between 5 and 20 hours per month. Not per week, per month. And I feel very fortunate because I must have set Mergs up in a way where the business was maintaining itself. The product was good enough, you know, there weren't too much going on. Don't get me wrong, it's got to a point now where I need to be in this business because there may no longer be a business. You can have any day off, you can't have every day off. And I've learnt that. But at the same time, you know, when you're thinking about throwing yourself off a bridge, it's not great to think, oh, but my business, there's more important issues at hand. So just be realistic with your order of priorities. My plan was, if Mergs ever got to a point where it couldn't afford me, genuinely, you just go get another job. You just go work for someone else. I could probably go get another job earning more than I do at Mergs. Granted, you don't get the time and you're working for someone else and there's, you know, it's different. But, you know, you've just got to put it into perspective. We could drop down, Mergs could go back to being a side hustle. We could just do a normal job, we could do another 12 months, then we could just leave that job and come do Mergs again. Like, don't forget, just put it into perspective. You can do this. Like this, there's a standard formula, but you don't have to stick to it. So anyway, that's a few misconceptions about being self-employed. Hopefully that was useful to some of you, and I know there'll be business owners in the same position of me watching this being like, yep, can relate. And there'll even be things that I've not mentioned, and if you think of something else, leave me a comment, because I'm certain if you do this, it's probably very relatable. If you found this interesting, subscribe. You know, it's fun. I've got nothing to sell you around here. Let's call this a little club of people that work for ourselves. We're not 100 millionaires, but we're also, you know, we've escaped full-time employment. So welcome to, I was going to say Team Mergs. It's not Team Mergs, it's just Team Busy. We're just busy. Anyway, I'm going to crack on. I've got work to do, and I will catch up with you guys in a bit.